Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Potluck Podcast. And this is your butt hurt disclaimer.
Parental and/or sponsor advisory. Our goal is to offer a recovery-based podcast with a twist of humor. The expressions and opinions voiced here are those of the individual speaker and are not that of the collective. Our primary purpose is to carry the message and to help others achieve sobriety. We don't feel the need to be original. We certainly don't want to be extra crispy.
I am Martin.
Yeah, my name's Anthony.
I'm Sean. I'm definitely a real alcoholic over here.
And we have a special guest with us today.
Did y'all forget my name already?
No, you introduce yourself.
My name's Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
You
I'm
get
good. Thanks,
stepped on
Woody.
a lot?
Oh, if I had a dime. If I had a dime.
You saying that's not original?
It's not, no, or is it
No.
extra crispy?
Thanks, Sean.
No. It's about as dry as them biscuits, though.
Sheesh.
There we go, yeah.
I'm a limp.
Sheesh.
Josh.
Was that it? Was that the intro?
That was the
Jesus
intro.
God,
That is
no.
intro.
You got it.
Okay,
That's it.
fire away, Anthony.
Oh man, So how you been, man? Like it's been quite some time, a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, let's see, I've been out. I've had 5 months sober 2 days ago on the 20th. What's today? 28th, so 3 days ago. I had 5 months sober 3 days
Mhm.
ago. Went to jail the day I was supposed to take you to get your fucking. There we are. The day you were supposed to get your. You were doing your 1 year chip, and I think you were doing your lead at
My lead,
THB in
yeah.
Campbellsville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. This time around though, it sucked, man. Like, so long story short, what happened? I was sober for like 2 years, 2.5, whatever. But like I tell everybody now, I was white knuckling. That like
Yeah.
I had no actual like program that I was working. I was doing too many meetings and then too few meetings and doing this and doing that. And it took me forever to really find a job that I could sink my teeth into. I didn't want to go back to sales because all my life I've been doing sales. And like we talked about outside earlier, like you'll find cocaine in any sales environment
Yeah.
at any point in time. But I'm a musician too, so I ended up getting hired at Guitar Center. And they did not give me my first check. They did not issue it. Have all the emails from all of that issue and everything like that. And that same day that they did not give me my check, a former plug of mine from like that I hadn't heard from like in 6 years or whatever it was, texted me out of the blue talking about how I still owe him $600. Now, if I remember correctly, and I don't know if y'all know what the Cornbread Mafia is, but he claimed to be Cornbread Mafia. And at the time, I didn't track the fact that if I owed him $600, he'd already got me,
Yeah.
or I'd already been dead, right? But my brain, well, I didn't get issued my first check, and I owe this guy $600. So I fully started skimming off the top of the tills in Guitar Center, 100%, like that day, right? With the intent to pay him back, because you got to make amends
Wow.
in the recovery process. I didn't want to leave him hanging. You want to do whatever.
Yeah.
Even though knowing that that's not how recovery works, they tell you point blank you don't contact former drug dealers. So I started skimming off the top. I did not call him at all. I didn't give him that money back. I went down the street and started using it again because my brain in my head had this thought process of like, well, okay, this is God telling me that I can use effectively again, right? He's giving me the means to do it because the system they were using was an old DOS system, which I used to work in a pawn shop. I know how to trick that, and I started skimming off the top. I went down the street that day and picked up, and then it went real quick from doing a gram a day again to an 8-ball a day again, right? And at the time, like I know they're going to find me. I know they're tracking it because the first day I did it, nobody came to me and said, "Hey, the till was short."
Yeah.
So my brain translated that as, "Oh, they're really dumb here. They don't know
Success.
what they're doing." Yeah. So I kept doing it. And there was one day where the operations manager looked at me and she goes, "You're really sniffly today." I was like,
Ooh.
"Damn it."
Hint.
I was like, "Damn it," right? And apparently that same day they had been told, I found out later, that same day they had been told to like audit the tills, and they were waiting for me to leave to audit the tills, but I was just so high that I just stuck around for like 3 hours for no reason
Yeah.
because I had nowhere to go. And it was like 4 weeks later, they pulled me into the office one morning at work, And I've already stolen that day, like that
Yeah.
that morning, putting the tills in, man. And they have me, talk to LP, write this like affidavit thing that says I did this, I did that. And I'm literally texting my plug, talking about, hey, I'm about to come see you. I'm about to get fired. I'm just gonna do whatever. And next thing I know, I'm signing that letter. 3 St. Matt's cops show up, and I'm like, oh god, this is not,
Yeah.
this is not gonna go good. Because the thing is, man, like that bender, it went so quick,
Yeah.
man, to get back to a worse spot than what I was the
Yeah.
first time around. And I try to like make a big scene about it in the office or whatever. And I tell the cop, I was like, can you just not arrest me like here? Just wait till we get to the car. Got in the car, they arrest me, and it's been a while since I've been in the back of a cop car, and I forget that like you can't. There's no way to sit, man. There's no way to
Yeah.
sit. And my dumb ass at the time, I asked the cop, I was like, how long do you think I'm going to be in there? Because I think I can beat it, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm invincible. And that cop just goes, like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, cool. Because I'm thinking in my head, I could do 4 or 5 hours. It'll be fine. I'll get out. Not knowing that they're like, how am I going to get my car back and all that stuff? And then he takes me to downtown.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to a cushy St. Matt's jail.
Yeah.
No, I'm going downtown. And I get downtown, and I'm waiting to be processed. And the cop tells me, if you've got anything on you, you need to ditch it right now, because if they process you and they find it, you're going to get hit with possession and distribution and all that stuff. I throw my whole wallet away because I had, I don't know how many empty baggies in there, straws in there, all that stuff. And I ditch it, and the cop looks at me like, well, I can't write that up now, you know what I mean? And then I get through, I process, and I go through the curtain, and they tell me to take everything off, put my boxers, and put on your jumpsuit and your flip-flops.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was confused. I was like, what do you mean put on my jumpsuit? Yeah, you're going to be here in a minute. And then I try to get mad and be like, no, the cop told me I'd be here for 5 hours. And they're like, yeah, no, you're gonna be here in a minute. And it's Friday, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to be there all weekend. And then I start panicking, right? But I'm also high as hell. And I think I'm invincible. And I haven't been in a waiting room downtown in a long time. And then I realized they keep it cold for a reason. They give you those 2, bullshit bologna sandwiches and the mustard and that cake, which is the only thing that has flavor in jail, is that jail cake.
I love cake.
Yeah.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think we all do. Also known as peaches, depending on what kind of cake you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting there, man, and I'm like watching the lay of the land, and you get told you got to go through those 3 windows. I try to make I don't know how many phone calls. Turns out my brother, who's a homicide detective, he got notified like immediately, right?
Yeah.
So my brother had called everybody in my family, told them not to answer. So I'm trying hard to get a phone call out, and nothing's happening. So I'm sitting there, like in my vest with my arms, just like trying not to freeze out. And then they call me to the window, the first window where they ask you if you have any danger of being here or whatever. I say, no, I don't have any danger of being here, but my brother is a homicide detective. They wanted, if I had stayed overnight, they were going to put me in PC.
Yeah.
And that scared the shit out of me for all the reasons, right? For all the reasons. And on top of that, my brother, I think, had called to make sure I didn't get locked up with someone that he had put away,
Yeah.
right? Because my last name in Kentucky, like, there's probably, if you're a Carrillo in Kentucky, you're probably related to me in some form or fashion, right? It's not Jones, it's not Smith. So
Yeah.
I tell them that, and they don't know what the scenario is going to be. I find out, thankfully, that they changed the scenario where you're not in jail for 3 days if it's the weekend. They'll do arraignment without you there at like 9, 12, and 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it gets to be, I'm going to say 7 o'clock. I get my name called, right? And and I realize I need to get my sandwiches in order because I don't know what's going to happen. Get my bunk, all that stuff. And they take us to the dorm. And the dorm had one small-ass TV about this big with SpongeBob on it. Of all things. No remote like it was THB. Once the remote's gone, you're just there for whatever's there.
Yeah.
And I get there, and I remember distinctly, there's this dude that he was just nonchalantly talking about this 8 years he's about to face. He's on the phone talking about, like, yeah, I'll do this little 8-year bid, and I'll be back home. First thing I hear when I get into the dorm is who's got the drugs, and I'm like miserable, right? I end up taking a top bunk because just in my head, I'm like, I don't want to be on a bottom bunk. I don't remember what that thought process was. I remember how loud the damn toilet flushing is. It's so loud when someone uses the toilet and flushes it. Luckily, I ended up sleeping through like the majority of my bid there.
Absolutely.
and then I wake up at like midnight, and they call my name, and I'm being released ROR, right? Because it's my first like major offense and all this stuff. And I get out and call my mom, call my brother, and I can't come home. Can't come home. And THP on 10th Street is a couple blocks away. Brother drops me off there. I go to detox and slept for 3 days, and then they offer you to either go to OP or to do the program again. And I was very adamant that I'm not doing another 6-month program. I'm not. Can't afford to do it. And finished my time out there. Got all my certificates, completed everything. I still go back there for classes. I still go back there to facilitate classes, give donations, and now we're here. Now we're here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Yeah.
So you said white knuckling.
Yeah.
We was just talking about that not too long ago. Yesterday, it was like last week.
Yeah.
The difference for me in sobriety and recovery, right, is like sobriety is literally just taking the substance from the person, right? Not putting no effort into change that person in any aspect at all. You know what I'm saying? And like for the longest time, that was what I did. I was just sober. You know what I'm saying? Even when I first met you, I was really just sober. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have no ambition to change me. I didn't have no ambition to really look in anything I did. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And to me, that sobriety is just like the first step into recovery. You know
No,
what I mean?
absolutely.
And
I mean, when you go into the rooms for the first time, and I mean, everybody has this conversation a million times. You got to admit you're powerless over alcohol or whatever your thing is. For a lot of people, I think when they get told you have to admit that you have no power over something, for addicts, our addiction was the only thing we thought we had power over, right? Like, I'm not as bad as the next guy. I'm only using X. I'm not up to an 8-ball. I'm not doing math or whatever the case may be. As I got towards the end of my first run through the recovery program, through the 12 steps, I don't look at the 12 steps as like 1 to 12. They are circular, 100%. By the time you get to 12, you should be back at 1, and you should be doing them pretty consistently. And not that I'm like a big religious believer or whatever the case may be, but in the Beatitudes, Christ does say something about power is at its best when it knows it's weak. Right? So it's not that you admit that you're powerless; it's that you admit what your limitations are. Right? And like I got chastised for talking about every time I facilitated a class at THP. They try to tell me that you couldn't say that the drug is bad. The drug isn't bad, rather. The drug isn't bad. Like a cup of coffee here is not bad, a bag of meth here is not bad. This isn't bad. It's what goes from here to when I reach it that I have to figure out what the issue is, right?
Yeah.
And so when you come to think about it and you think, well, why do I need this thing to change the way I'm currently feeling? Why do I not like me is what ultimately the question is. And this time around, I took advantage of all the insurance stuff this time around at THP.
Yeah.
Last time, I didn't go see a therapist. I don't know how many people got brand new sets of teeth in Campbellsville for free.
Yeah.
Right? And they had to be like bedridden because, their whole jaw was messed up. This time around, got me a therapist. Actually got multiple therapists. They had actual licensed professionals that were going through like one of the biggest things I think that I learned there. Someone put an emotion wheel in front of me, man. And I did not realize that my whole life I've never really been able to identify or define how I'm feeling, right? Yeah. And it's a difference between like I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm mad, or I'm depressed, or whatever the case may be. No, you have to go like a little bit
more in depth.
Yeah, you have to go like way further.
Yeah.
And it actually, to be perfectly honest, it impacted my songwriting. Because when you write songs, you want to have an emotion that's conveyed. So when I do that now, I'm a little bit more, poised to do that. And so when I went to my first therapist and I told her everything that was going on, she stopped me at the end of it and she's like, I can't help you. And my first thought was like, this is what I mean. This is why I don't do therapy, because y'all can't help me.
Yeah.
No, she gave me a tentative diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, which, to clarify, is also called emotional dysregulation disorder, which means I get too emotional or not at all because I don't know how to define it. And I would prefer people call it that because I don't have multiple personalities. That's a whole different thing. And then she sent me to what's called dialectical behavioral therapy, which is Miss Nina.
All these big words.
Yeah, so on the big words thing, I keep hearing you mention THP. Can you please expand on that for the listeners?
THP is the acronym for The Healing Place. The original one is in Campbellsville. Most of the rehab centers in Kentucky, or what was it called?
The RKC.
The RKC, they're based on the one that's in Campbellsville, right?
Yeah.
So it's a what is it called? A community-driven program, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole litany of things we can get into that.
CPP.
Yeah.
There's a whole litany of things we can get on that. I still put people on contracts.
Yeah.
I still do, dog. It's my favorite thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Contracts, if you don't know. So when you get into a higher level in those programs called community, right? Everybody, everybody gets addressed, right? And you know your character flaws, all that stuff, and then you got to start giving words and actions and all that stuff out. And I remember when I got to Campbellsville, and I got told that the worst thing that can happen to you is write words. I've been a writer since I was like 9.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll do this for fun.
Yeah.
I'll do this for fun. I had written the big book twice while I was there.
Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah.
For fun. I'd written words for people in THP too, in the first one in Campbellsville, to just get cigarettes and all that stuff. But if you do those writings and you actually like take the time to think about stuff, man, you can really, really, really identify some stuff for yourself.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like when I was in a program and the contracts were given out, and I don't like writing. I do not like to write. Okay,
I love it.
So they would give you like 4 to 6 pages or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god. For me, 4 to 6 pages is like 20 pages for you.
Oh, I'd have given him word counts. I wouldn't have given him pages.
But once I got started in writing, and I was being honest with myself, and started writing, before you know it, I had 4, 6, 8 pages done.
You'll go really, really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned doing that contract because the first time I turned in my community contract, Jay, the CEO founder of THP, whatever.
A lot of letters today.
You really don't like writing. If you
I do not.
Don't like letters.
Jay, the CEO,
the chief executive officer, he was actually at THP to attend. He was at the healing place to attend community that day. And I claimed all of my issues, no matter how many I had, right? And I had 10 that day. So Chris Hahn, the director there, couldn't do anything else but to go with me and address me again the same day. They were counting my community contract while that was happening. And I remember being so pissed off that I had to do it all over again, right? Because then Dobby hit me with 1,000 words, all words 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Because I was a writer. So the thing that I learned, though, is doing that next contract, the thing I would do to start everything that I wrote is I would pray in every single time. And it really did help. And when I got out the first time, Spurgeon was my sponsor.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's a whole other story for another time.
Yeah,
he's back in. It's a whole thing. But
what?
Oh yeah. Remember how he thought he was going to say Stober just out of spite?
Yeah.
No, that didn't happen. No. This is a man. We worked in the office together. Not to put his business out there. He had the same amount of felony counts in 2 separate counties because he committed these 8 felonies in this county, across the county line, and they caught him for the same 8 felonies. He was dealing with that. Same man that used to throw snakes at people that tried to rob him. That is a real story. Crazy individual. Crazy individual. But no, when it comes to the writing, man, like we talked about outside, all the writing I've ever done, and especially with music, I used to really genuinely believe that I could not write if I was high, or unless I was just high as I could possibly be. And I could write 100 half-ass songs on cocaine. Yeah. It wasn't until I got sober and sat with the context of things that I could actually complete anything, which transferred into those 3 things that I do every day: mental win, physical win, spiritual win. That's really it. Anybody that I talk to about any of this, what 3 things are you doing? If you can get up in the morning, take a shower, and just go through the things that you're grateful for and start your day like that, that's a mental and spiritual win. And if I'm having a really bad, rough morning, I'll go all the way down to I'm thankful for each bristle on my toothbrush. Like those kind of things. Because someone had posited it to me at the second round of THP one time. If you woke up tomorrow and you only had the things that you were grateful for the day before, what would you have? And that scared the shit out of me.
That was deep.
That scared the shit out of me. So, like, it got to a point almost in fearfulness where I was like, let me make sure that I'm grateful for everything that I need the next day. Down to the people, down to, like, the food in my belly, the bedclothes that I got on my bunk. Even if it was a shitty little plastic mattress with holes in it, man, I got a bed.
Yeah.
And that puts you in a state of mind where it's like, it's not even just, I'm grateful for the bristles on my toothbrush. Why? Well, because if I don't have the bristles on my toothbrush, I don't have clean teeth. And there's just something like okay, so I used to not care about how I smelled, right? Or whether or not my clothes were clean, right? Now I can't stand the smell of like body odor or bad breath or whatever. I just can't. I just can't because it puts my mind in a state of that smell is now equated with drug use or just being in a bad frame of mind for whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But again, like the therapy, being able to identify emotions and things helped exponentially. So one of the things I learned the most was being able to validate my emotions. I was wearing just all I had at the time was white t-shirts, right? I drink coffee every morning. And for the first 3 weeks there, without fail, within 30 minutes of me waking up, I'd spill coffee on my shirt. All right. And it would legitimately set like the world was ending. I'd be mad at everybody the rest of the day, right? And then once I went to that therapy session, all I had to start doing was say something like, "It is okay that I'm mad. It's not okay that I want to put my fist through somebody's face about it.
Yeah.
I won't be mad later." And it takes the power out of being overwhelmed by an emotional response.
Yeah.
But when you start doing those gratefuls in the morning, it kind of assuages that and counteracts that. And then, like the spiritual wins, it's just straight up. I do a manifestation thing, manifestation mantras, whatever it is, right? And to this day, I still use it. I understand and embrace the feeling and fact, and then whatever it is, and then I say it in the present tense, right? So if I say something like, "I understand and embrace the feeling and fact that I am experiencing abundance," right? I don't know necessarily what for, right? But without fail, every time it happens, I end up receiving the things that I need. Even more to the point, if you write it down, and I still have it in my book, in my backpack. When I was struggling to find a job, that morning I was getting pissed off because my background check, because I had the felonies, was now flagging. So 6, 7 times I was just getting denied. Or I was getting hired, rather, pending my background check.
Yeah.
And then I get denied. Jiffy Lube, Wawa, Applebee's, all this other stuff. And I had to have a job near Dixie because it made no sense for me to be living on Dixie and then drive 20 minutes away and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the day I got hired at Domino's, which I ended up quitting like 2 weeks later because it was a farce, I wrote 9 times in the morning, "I understand and embrace the feeling and fact that I am currently gainfully employed at Domino's on Dixie Highway." I did it 9 times. Swear to God. And I got hired that day. Like I went through that day. Now, Domino's didn't put me through a background check because they literally didn't care. My interview was, "Can you get here on time?" That was it. And then I was hired as an assistant manager. And 100% hired as assistant manager. And the thing with that was, and I think this was God really, really testing how bad I wanted this, right? So I got told that it would be 9 to 6, and that would be it. I get hired, I work one day 9 to 6, and I get thrown on night shift.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody shows up for night shift because it's the worst possible time. All I wanted to do was learn how to make pizza, which is not hard to make pizza. I don't know if it's really not.
I love it.
I do too. It takes about 2 weeks
Yeah.
to really get it, and then really that's it.
I like delivering them.
So
I
here's
mean,
I like eating them.
I do
well, there you
too
go.
much,
There's-
man. So that okay. I was doing so well with like my exercise, my weight, and all that stuff, and then when
Dear
you
diary, don't go to Domino's for a job.
don't do it, they'll hire you immediately, but don't do it. I ended up eating everything like that. We would make things that were too much or too burnt or whatever, and you could just take them home.
Yeah.
I was taking home like 3 pizzas a night,
Yeah.
right? Because I just love pizza. And then when they put me on night shift, all my routine got flipped upside down.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing my physical wins. I stopped going running. I stopped walking, doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they put me on nights, I remember the first time I got off, it was like 1:30 a.m. And the Domino's that I was working at is 3 minutes from my house. And I remember being at the stoplight, and it's the first time I had been in a car by myself that late at night since April at that time, so about 4 months in. And I'm stopped at the stoplight. I've got tip money in my pocket. I've got cash in my pocket. And it was just the environment of being in the dark. And I had to consciously decide to go right instead of straight, right? And when we talk about playing the tape, I think a lot of people think playing the tape takes, like looking in the mirror and doing all that stuff. You can play the tape real quick,
Yeah.
real quick.
You can also throw that tape right out.
You can throw it right out the window if you want to, right? So I'm at that stoplight, and the tape's playing. But the tape this time was getting that jail meal for the first time, and I remember it being beans, mashed potatoes, and whatever they were passing off as meat, whatever that was.
not pizza.
Not pizza. Not pizza.
Mystery meat.
Not fit for human consumption.
Yeah.
For zoo animals only, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that had flavor was, again, the jail cake.
I love cake.
And a honey bun.
That's
So, bro,
necessary.
I got put on so much jail game at THP the first time. I only know how to play spades and dominoes because I went to rehab, man.
Yeah.
That's it. And I miss and we were talking about that earlier about it's a false environment and it's a false sense of life when you're in institutions, right? Because when you think about it, man, it's really, really easy to stay sober when all your meals are taken care of, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the point at Campbellsville, man, like you didn't even want to eat at the end of the night.
Hell no.
You really didn't,
Better
man.
go to bed.
I want to go to bed. But when we'd have pizza and you did all that, it's like a whole thing. But once you get out, and Campbellsville's like Mayberry, man. It's like the Andy Griffith show down there. It really, really, really is. Like when you came through, when Big Mike came through.
Sheesh.
When
we kind of want to refrain from using names.
Okay, well, there's not even their real names anyway, for real. That's
good.
just the awful ones that we called them. But I got asked by one of the guys down there, how come I asked?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. I did. He straight up asked me why I was hanging out with the black people down there instead of the white people.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Dear diary, I did not know that was coming.
Oh, shit.
Got asked why he was cutting wood. I remember getting asked that question and being like really kind of like, wow, this is Mayberry down here, right? Because I didn't know I was hanging out with black. I was just hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But
Mayberry have street lights?
Street?
Yeah.
They did have street lights.
Really?
They sure did have street lights. There ain't nothing to do in Mayberry and Campbellsville though than do meth or go to
You
rehab.
just gonna let that happen?
I am, yeah, absolutely. Because he's not wrong, you know.
He's not wrong.
I do love cake though.
No, but you was talking about so I've been talking about this and I keep saying it and it's okay. So like the emotions, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, I hit all my emotions, my everything, my feelings, my emotions, all that. You know what I'm saying? For like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So like the one thing that I've gotten from this program is the emotional intelligence to navigate whatever the fuck. Like
Bang.
1-on-1, bro.
God.
1-on-1.
Whatever it is, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's like you said, it's okay to be mad, but I know, like, I don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to succumb to it.
Yeah, like,
You
I don't have to let this right here take
Overtake
over
you.
the rest of the day. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, my day can be a shitty day, and it's okay.
It's okay.
You know what I mean? And like, that's a real big thing for me. Like, I don't have to move off emotion, and a lot of the times I really don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I have that intelligence to know that I don't have to move like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the curiosity of it is when, at least for me, the cocaine, the meth, whatever amphetamine I'm doing, I never did downers. I did not like weed. I liked going. Yet. That's correct. Yet.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying outside, everybody, I swear to God, everybody really is one bad day away from having a really bad year or 10.
Yeah.
100%. But I didn't want to feel my emotions, right? So I always thought that I was operating from just a place of straight logic. And that'll make you a really, really cold, unfeeling person to people.
Yeah.
There's been multiple times where I've been hanging out with like people that come to the shows or people that were in the band where they can see my eyes go black. That's what I got told a lot. And I would take a certain amount of pride in that, like fear me, right?
Yeah.
But it's a fraudulent frontal thing that I'm doing. I'm not an evil person.
Frontal.
Full frontal fraud.
Yeah.
FFF.
FFF. There's your F words. There's your F words. Full frontal fraud. But that's what I was doing is I wanted people to fear me because I feared me. I did. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I knew for a fact that I always felt like I was different.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that there's a difference between feeling different and then being something completely different.
Right.
So when you know they say the worst thing about getting sober is you get your feelings back. The best thing about sober is get your feelings back, right?
It's the best thing.
It is the best thing, like down the road. The other thing for me is the normalcy of being sober is what I was terrified about the most. Right?
Yeah.
But this time around, I was able to go back home every day and get used to that. And I would be helping out around the house, and I started loving just doing the dishes, or just sweeping the porch, or cooking, whatever. And those stopped being like,
Sure.
things that were I got to do them.
Yeah.
Right, I got to do them. And I mean, even now, man, when I'm taking my kid home, he's like, "What's for dinner?" I don't know. Normally, that used to be it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like I
Yeah.
did not care.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I can make you French toast, pancakes, steak, whatever you want."
Whatever you want, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm helpful.
Yeah.
I contribute. I'm not just a drain, and that helps with self-worth. I think, for sure. And don't get me wrong, like there are days where I just don't want to do nothing. There are days where I fly off the handle. But there's very they're not as constant as they used to be.
Right.
And when I have people in my life that have known me this entire time, and when I get told that there's a marked difference in who I am as a person and how I operate and how I function, um, that's how I know. Like, you know how like Michael Jordan will never tell you that he's the greatest of all time. Other people will. You can't tell people that you've changed.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can only show
They'll
it.
tell you.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that you've changed.
Yeah.
And all you can really do in that aspect is like okay, so again, deciding to go right instead of straight at the stoplight. That was me developing trust in myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I can trust myself to be out at night. I don't like being out at night. To this day, still, I'll leave whatever I'm doing. I have to be home by 10. Because for real, there's nothing open after midnight but strip clubs, drug dealers, and bars.
Yeah.
That's it. Walmart's not even open 24/7 anymore.
Yeah.
I know that sucks.
It does.
does.
It does.
Everything great happens.
Now
at Walmart.
McDonald's down here, they are now open back to
24/7?
Yeah, just that one though.
But they,
What? Which
that's what I'm
one?
saying.
The one in Radcliffe, right there by the rallies
What?
and all that.
There's one over off of right there by was it Central and 62, isn't it? It's open 24 hours too. Yeah.
So two McDonald's.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't-
so
we don't-
But here's the thing: ain't nobody going to that McDonald's unless they're
What?
drunk and want something anyway. What?
What happened? Back at the back here.
McDonald's.
What?
McDougal's.
McDougal.
McDougal's. McDougal's.
I like chocolate cake, carrot cake, freaking pound cake. I
Peach
really love cake.
I'm gonna have some more dump cake later.
I like pancake.
Pancake. Yeah. Is this sponsored by cake?
No.
It should be.
I was just saying that I like cake.
Right? We've made that abundantly clear throughout the entirety of this entire podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like that's me putting trust in myself. And again, like I've talked about before with Woody, you can either move in two directions in life. You can move out of love, or you can move out of fear. And moving out of fear is just the opposite of love. When you move out of love, you've got to give it out, right? Every time. I've given I don't know how many bags of donations to THP now to the point to where they don't even like they're like let us sort through what you gave us 2 weeks ago, and then we'll go through it again.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I don't do it for like the recognition or whatever. But that place, like, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I got into the one when I started detox, or whatever, I had the same clothes in my bag. My dad had packed up all of my stuff, just threw it in a duffel bag, and just left it there. And when I finally opened that duffel bag, like a month later, there was still blood stains on my shirt because I was blowing my nose in my shirt.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted nothing to do with anything in there. I threw it all away.
Yeah.
Threw it all away. And what I did have, I was just donating to people in detox across the board.
Yeah.
And my former roommate there, I remember getting there for like 3 days in detox. I was just either sleeping or I just didn't care. Right.
Yeah.
And then, since we're not using names, a very good friend of mine from the first time in Campbellsville, who was very close to both me and Woody. He, like, I remember crying on like day 4 in detox because, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do from this point on.
Yeah.
I really don't, because now I'm facing charges. Now I'm facing, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I don't have a job. Even more to the point, my mugshot went everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
I work at Guitar Center, and I'm relatively known in the music scene, and I got I don't know how many messages about what I had done and how messed up it was and all that stuff. And then this former friend of mine, we'll call him Robert, right? Robert comes through. He just appears almost like in front of my face, and I start crying, and I hug him, and that was God, like, showing me that this is a constant thing, right? My parents have said numerous times that it was their fault for expecting me to stay sober the first time. No, like, why would you not? I had, like, everything, paperwork rather, checked out. Like, why would I not do that? But that was my fault for not, like, being very transparent and open and honest with what it might look like if I relapse. Like, if I fly off the handle, right? Or I'm just super irritable. Or I'm doing nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, making up nonsense. Well, I got to go do this at 4 in the morning. What do you do? Like, what are you doing at 4 in the morning, right? One of the prerequisites for me even being able to live at home right now is I have to have my location on at all points in time. And I'm fine with it. That used to be something I would fight tooth and nail. You don't need to know where I am, know what I'm doing. No, people absolutely need to know where you are and what you're doing. But, like, this go around, a lot of it has to do with Cooper, with my son. Because my son thought the same thing. Well, Dad went through all of this. He should be fine. And then here I am, not fine. And that, you know. and him telling me that he was scared that I was going to die this time.
Yeah.
That's something different.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the icing on the cake.
That's something different because your parents are going to die. My mother's dealing with that right now.
Definitely.
It took him a minute.
It did. But you know your parents are going to die. But to put that on a 12-year-old, it is something entirely different. But then me having him again and him seeing me different is, I have him every week now.
Yeah.
Instead of hoping I'll be home at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I remember we was having that conversation when you said to move in fear or to move in love. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, that was the way. If you move in love, you're aligning yourself with God's will. We don't know what it is, but we know what it's not. You know what I mean? So when you said that right there, and then we tracked it back to fear, is like, so when you get angry, that's a form of fear. Most
secondary.
people don't believe that, but that's absolutely what it is. That conversation we had right there is the reason, like, really for me, that I don't like calm down a whole lot. Like, it takes a whole lot for me to get angry. But if it wasn't for that conversation right there, for me to identify, because I'm pretty sure it was you that said if you let someone piss you off, or if you let someone to really, get you out of character, they're controlling you.
100%.
And whenever we had that conversation, I was a hothead. Even at THP, boy, I was look, we gonna go.
I remember.
And then after having that conversation, like, I really started to realize, like, I don't have to act like that.
No.
You don't have to get me out of my character. I get me out of character. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. And so when you, this is kind of a dickhead thing to do, but when you encounter someone, especially a grown man, one of those people, I'm a grown ass man kind of people, and they're super mad or whatever. When you ask them, hey, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
One of two things is going to happen. They're going to get worse. They're going to go way angrier. So I recommend you ask them that from like outside of their punch reach. I really do. But like it really, really can kind of change direction because, so I do it like this. If you are in a castle, right, and your castle, you think it's fortified, but you haven't checked every brick and every mortar and every possible entrance point. And then there's an army that's trying to attack this castle, and they get in through an entry point that you did not fortify. Is that your fault, or is that the army's fault?
Maybe your fault.
It's your fault because you didn't fortify your castle. So when you get upset when someone offends you, right, it's like giving them the knife and telling them, here, you stab me, right, and then I'm going to get mad at you for stabbing me.
Yeah.
You didn't fortify your stuff. So when we talk about like a daily reprieve contingent on our spiritual development, that's what that is. Am I fortifying where I'm at? Am I good with me? If I'm good with me, it's not that I don't care if you're good with you, but when you get mad at me, my question more now is, who hurt you or what's going on?
Yeah.
And when we talk about God's will, not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
With me, just to clarify, I only use the word God because that's the colloquialism for it, right? If everybody calls this thing God, then it must work. You can call it the universe, you can call it Allah, you can call it whatever, as long as it's something that's higher than you. Me not knowing what God's will is keeps me out of my way.
Yeah.
Right. So on top of the spiritual, mental, and physical win, part of my daily commitment, I think you either get it every day or I forget to do it. Yeah. It's the same one every day. I commit to myself and to my higher power to remember that the way I do anything is the way I do everything. And that could be a 9 podcast in and of itself. To focus on my efforts, not my results, and then to stay out of my way, right? Just focusing on my efforts, not my results, when it was just coming to a job, right? And getting denied every time and every time. Okay, well, what have I done today, though? Right? I can't get a job today. I can't get an answer today, but I can put in 5, 6 apps, 7 apps, whatever it is, and then reach a point where your results will show for themselves. God's will is you put in the work, and what happens is what happens.
Piece of cake.
Communion wafer. Yeah. Piece of cake. Unleavened bread.
Like just like hearing you talk about God. Like, first of all, I want to give a little bit of backstory if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm saying? So like when I met Matt, it was like right before then. You know what I'm saying? He was a member of the temple. He did not worship God. He didn't believe in God. You know what I'm saying? So like this man is the one that taught me how to pray.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
and like listening to him talk about God now and like what really you can see what it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there in itself is God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I said, like I didn't necessarily not believe in him. I just didn't know who or what it was. You know what I mean?
So I remember. Okay. Before you got there, for the first 3 months I was in Campbellsville, I was a nightmare for everybody involved, right? because not to like it's a joke, but I kind of do mean it too. I not only had more teeth than everybody down there by default, right? I had infinitely more brain cells than everybody down there. I was more well read than everybody. I could tell, right? And like my ego was so pumped by that, right? So I wanted to argue every conceivable point of the book, and I did. I absolutely did. To the point to where it would like we'd come to a stalemate. Not because I was right or wrong, but just because I had created so much chaos or muddied the waters around what it is, more specifically speaking. You're telling me I have to have a full spiritual awakening, but I can't have that spiritual awakening until I have a complete mental change. But I can't have the complete mental change until I have a spiritual experience. So it's like a chicken or the egg thing, right? And you don't realize until later that
The chicken had to come first.
chicken hadn't come first, and the egg didn't hatch at that point either.
You have to have eggs to make cake.
Cake you do, and flour.
Milk too sometimes.
Oh, anyway, so I remember distinctly. There was a woman that was doing 3 o'clock class. She was an 80-year-old woman, former military, former army, used to fly helicopters, all that stuff. Was based in Germany, where I'm from, and she was based in Germany at the same time that my grandfather was based in Germany, right? And she was wearing this blue smock that I had only ever seen my grandmother Malita wear, right? So for some reason at this point in time, I'm paying attention, especially because her class was how to speak to God, and I'm an arrogant asshole at the time. I'm like, "Oh, do tell," and she handed out this pamphlet and all this stuff, and all the pamphlet was you talk to God the same way that you talk to the same way I'm talking right now. Right? God doesn't. I'm sorry. God doesn't care if you curse. Because how I know that is because I did quite a bit. But when you talk to God and then you sit. And when she said listen, she described listening as you don't listen with your ears, you'll feel something. And that night, Spurgeon, he's fine. He was contracted to sleep in the dorm with us, and he had such terrible sleep apnea that he was sleeping right next to me that I could not sleep. It was bad. I thought he was going to die half through the night. I remember going to the bathroom, getting toilet paper to put in my ears. And then finally, I turned over my back and I said out loud, hey, and I'm going to use that phone, God, what the fuck is going on next to me? Right? It's specific for that. And I sat there taking the lessons that this lady had taught me, and I did not hear it or think it, but I felt it in my chest immediately. And it was, this is what your mom went through for the last 18 years. Not being able to sleep because she doesn't know what you're doing, where you are, whatever. And I remember that washing over me, right? And then I started having little spiritual experiences. But because at the time I'm logical and just trying not to, believe in the unknown or whatever, the bench at the smoke tree, sacred site smoke tree, I would go out when everybody was in bed and I would just lay on my back and look at the stars. You can see the stars in Campbellsville. And all I would say every time is like if you're up there, if anything's up there, just show me something, right? Now, it does not matter if what happened in the sky after that, every time I did that, was something divine or whatever it was, but every time I asked for a sign, lightning would flash, Elon Musk's little satellite link would move, a star would shoot, a plane would be overhead. All I asked for was something to move, and it would happen every time, right? And then as I went through, I started stealing prayers from people and started stealing things from people. And then we ended up going to God's Hands Ministries at the upper room, and they were, they were calling God Daddy, and they really wanted you to call God Daddy, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and we ended up breaking into meetings, and I told that entire congregation or that entire meeting that I was a devil worshiper, Satanist, and the response that I got was not what I wanted. I wanted fear. I wanted them to kick me out. I wanted them to be all aggro about it, and they weren't. They were open arms about it, and it pissed me off. I remember walking out of that meeting, I'm like, I'm never coming back to this meeting. Hell at this place. And then I would walk back every Friday to that meeting, to the point to where I would start doing like little seminars at that meeting and being asked to speak.
Yeah.
And then having people that still in contact with me, they would tell me that watching me go through that was their kind of hope, spiritual awakening, and all that stuff. And especially when I went on that weekend pass and things went south, right? And I had to come back. I didn't have to come back. Well, I mean, I did. I had nowhere to go. But I wasn't DOC. So for people, like, that's the other thing, too, man. Your sobriety is really not just for you. You need to do it for yourself. You cannot do it for any other reason. But if you're doing it for your kid, that's one thing. It won't work. If you're doing it for your wife, it won't work. You could have that be the predicating thing, But unless it's for you and you want something different, it's just not going to stick. So I did not want to leave Campbellsville. I really didn't. But one of the brothers down there pulled me to the side one day, and he goes, "Hey, I had a dream about you last night," which is just a weird thing to tell another grown man. And he goes, "Somebody told me in that dream that, hey, you need to stop hiding out in rehab." And it wasn't like a week later that it was time to go. Because that's what I was doing down there. Why was I still down there?
Right.
I was in the peer mentor's office. The only reason I stayed down there is because I thought no one down there could get sober without my teachings or whatever. You hear how dumb that sounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I get back up here and I'm terrified because I come back up here. I'm told you can't go to any of the same places, meet any of the same people, and that's all of Louisville for me at that time. That's what I mean by white knuckling.
Yeah.
I wasn't going outside. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. And I just white knuckled. And again, through therapy and through everything else, it's a different mode, different vibe. Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty interesting.
Not as much as cake, though, it sounds like.
No, I like wedding cakes, birthday cakes. I mean,
Sheesh. I think it's safe to say all cakes.
All cake.
Well, not all cakes.
What?
I haven't tried all cakes, so I can't say I like all cakes because there are
pretty.
cakes that are probably out there that I probably don't like. Like if there's a such thing as spinach cake, wouldn't eat it.
That just sounded
There's
terrible.
almost certainly something. Cake,
Probably, yeah.
Cake is like casserole, man. It's just flour, eggs, and milk. You can put whatever else you want in it.
And I love cake.
Yeah, I love cake.
Established.
Sean,
Martin,
you like cake?
not really.
What?
Never been a cake guy.
Wow.
My dad
I'll take
doesn't
your
like cake.
piece.
I like dump cake. If you're around later, you can probably try a piece.
That was weird.
I don't know if I.
That was weird.
That just sounds like a cake
that
I
was
wouldn't
weird.
like.
I hope you don't like it.
That was really
No.
weird. That was really weird.
He said it's more for him.
yeah.
Oh,
Literally.
dump cake. Ooh, you're
Good.
sick.
Good. No,
You're sick.
It's dump cake.
No, that's definitely not dump cake. Oh,
I think we're talking
God.
about two different cakes, buddy.
think you're
I
talking
hope
about
so,
it.
'cause
Sheesh.
So do I.
Oh man.
the implications of that cake just
The implication.
yeah.
Contempt prior to investigation.
I'm not investigating it. I'm gonna leave it alone.
It's a real thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
You won't experience it. Don't worry about it.
I won't ever experience it.
Nope.
Oh well, then that's good.
And you're good to go.
It's not the cake I thought it was.
No.
Thanks.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
No, I didn't say joy.
Not the cake you're looking for.
I'm just dump cake sounds like something I don't want.
Why is your phone flashing like that?
Sheesh. Just shine into my eye next time, you know?
Wow.
Give you a seizure.
What principle is that, buddy?
Which one?
That one.
Her flashing light?
Yeah.
So, guys, I have an interesting thing that was found on the comments the other day that I was asked to read out loud to see what y'all's opinion is. Since being in recovery, have any of you discovered a newfound talent or hobby or a favorite memory of something that you did that you never thought would be fun sober, but it turned out to be pretty damn great?
Gotcha. Helping others,
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting
because
into.
I was never trying to help anybody but myself. And I get quite a bit of joy out of it if I do say so.
Well, I had a hobby in music, and I thought this was in the madness. So I thought that was all over with because, in the music, it's hard not to be around things you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I have found since that it's actually possible.
More
And-
enjoyable.
And yeah, I do it, and people that know me and know that I'm in recovery respect my boundaries in that world, and so I'm able to continue and do the things I love in that world sober.
100%.
Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely like Sean said, it was helping somebody. Like, I too did not really care to help anyone but myself at anything I did. You know what I mean? Especially like I would do anything and everything. You know what I'm saying? If that means hurting you to get what I wanted or to get what I needed, I was gonna do it. But today, I find myself being more, selfless. You know what I'm saying? In the sense like I'm trying to help anyone that I can, but in that same sense though, like helping somebody, because I want to help everybody, even though I know everybody. Not you can't help everybody. Like
Nope.
and another thing I've been learning too is that not everybody wants it the same way. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And everyone's gonna have to take their own path to get to whether it be get to where I am or get to where they're going. They're gonna take their own path to get there. You know what I'm saying? And it's that right there is probably the hardest thing for me now to really navigate through. Is like because like not everybody wants it the same way.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Matt?
What's the question? Is like a new talent discovered?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a newfound talent or hobby or a favorite memory of something that you did that you never thought would be fun sober, but turned out to be.
So I think similarly when it comes to music, I've been doing music and been in that space. I think since I was 12, right? And so it's more enjoyable for me to do it sober than it is for me to do it on cocaine. Like I can tell you 1,001 times, I would go get a bag with the intent, like the whole intent would be we're gonna write today, right? It would take me 30 minutes to where I'm done attempting to write, and now I'm over analyzing like does this lyric need to have the or a as the article before I do it, and it gets really in the weeds. I am better and more productive, and it's more compelling the stuff that I write sober than it is when I do it on any sort of amphetamine. Now I will say the stuff that I would write on amphetamines, I'll have to go through 9 pages of notes to go through what the actual mission or message is. But enjoying that more, like you don't have to let go. You have to let go of a lot of stuff to change your life, right? But music is the only positive constant that I've had in my life. It has never abandoned me. There are songs that when I go back and listen to them, they've been about recovery the whole time, and I just did not realize it at all. A Perfect Circle has a whole album called 13th Step, right? 13th Step, I don't know if you know what that means, but if you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. But when I listen to that record now, it starts with a song called The Package. And it's Clever got me this far, and then Tricky got me in. The whole thing is about going through recovery. And Maynard's not an addict, right? But like looking at it from that context, Slipknot, same thing, Before I Forget, is about that. King Me by Lamb of God, the literal chorus is King Me is killing me. And in one of the verses, it's a sick monster, a twister of dark matter on a heavier trip than you can comprehend, a tornado trying to mend the life it shattered, waiting for nothing to begin, right? So when you go back and you look at like what your heroes are trying to talk about, it's not that they're glorifying drugs most of the time anyway. It's they're trying to depict a moment where this shit sucks so bad and I can't get out of it. And I'm fascinated with going back through those moments because then you're like the human mind is very, very flexible to the extent that I don't know if I've done this experiment with you, but I can prove that humans can time travel in their brain, right? Because if I ask you to close your eyes, right, and then to think back about 6 years ago or whatever, maybe you were at a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and I asked you to tell me what it smells like, or I asked you to tell me who's around or what colors you're seeing, you can do it, right? Yeah. So your senses can go back in time and they can go forward at the same time too. So you can imagine a future pretty accurately if you do it with those senses. So it allows me to go back into those moments and to recontextualize them, right? Like we talk about damnation or deliverance, it's about perspective, right? Damnation can be, hell, I'm in rehab or I'm in jail. But if you look at it from, okay, this could be the stepping point, this galvanizing moment to where I'm free from what's been happening to me. Perspective is absolutely everything. Your perspective can change. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, if you do these 12 steps, if you do them, you don't bullshit them, you do them. Whether or not you want to, at the end of it, you will meet God. Whoever that looks like, right? And I've met him multiple times. Whoever it is, however you want to call that, it does that part does not matter. But yeah, that's a new hobby, that's a new talent. Doing the boring things, I enjoy doing the boring things, man.
Yeah.
I do. It gives me something to look forward to. That's why they have you do chores in institutions, man. That's the point. You're supposed to get used to the normal thing because I believe with everything in my being that the biggest fear of an addict is living a normal life. Because that's what we're running from is normalcy. Because we've never known it half the time. You can't experience it. And once normal becomes actually normal and you're okay with the monotony of things.
Well, that's because I believe that the normal for us, for me, was the chaos.
100%.
And when stuff starts to flatten out, when things start to get better, that's not familiar.
No,
You know what I
it
mean?
actually is
So
more,
then
more
that's where the
uncomfortable.
saboteur comes back in. I have to go back to the familiar, what I know, which is the
100%.
chaos,
Absolutely.
the destruction,
Hundred
you know what
percent.
I'm saying, and failure.
Like, okay, me going to Louder in Life this year, I only went one day, right? It's the first time I've ever gone to anything sober. I had a miserable time. Likely because I wasn't on something, right? But I want to contextualize that as saying, like, it's not that me being on something and going to a show is why the show was fun. It was I had to be me in front, like with 100,000 people around me, right? And my nervous energy, all I could do was just dart around, hoping I would find someone that I knew. It sucked. It was not a fun experience. But it didn't mean that I didn't love what was happening or I didn't enjoy the music. It was just, okay, then I've either outgrown the festival thing or I've outgrown doing this, right? You're correct. That chaos can get real comfortable real quick. And then the normalcy of it can be debilitating. When I got out of THB the first time, Campbellsville, it was during Christmas. Yeah, it was like Christmas, the day before Christmas, and everybody came over to my mother's house for Christmas, and nobody told me that that was going to be the case, and it sucked. I got told a lot of times, like, why are you just sitting in the corner, just being miserable? Because I don't know how to function around you guys without that. I've never been sober around you, which is heartbreaking for a lot of people to hear that you've never been sober around them, right? Because then they don't know who's the real you and who's not, which makes it worse when you don't know who's the real you and who's not. I'm okay with the real me. I'm still learning the real me, and that's a constant thing that I will do for the rest of my life. But being able to communicate too is, oh my god, that's crucial. Being able to communicate to another human being, hey, I'm having a rough day.
Yeah.
Can we just talk? Simon Sinek, this is probably one of the better things I learned too. Simon Sinek did a study where all someone needs when they're having a really bad day is 8 minutes of somebody else's time, and the other person just needs to shut up and listen. And 9 times out of 10, whatever that person is going through will subside, right? So now amongst my support group, it's not, hey, I need to talk, or hey, I'm having a bad day, because that could still be really difficult for someone to say. Yeah. Hey, man, you got 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You got 8 minutes? I'll call you immediately, and I'll sit there and listen. And stuff like that helps greatly too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to step out for a minute. I'm going to pick up my dump cake that you won't experience.
I'm really
okay. May or may not return. If I'm not back in here, don't forget to pray out.
Okay. I'm really really scared about what he's about to bring in here.
No, he's not bringing dump cake in here. He's definitely not going to bring dump cake in here.
No way.
I really don't think. Yeah, moving on. That was definitely not a cakewalk for my mind.
Cakewalk.
This is crazy. I was just thinking about this while you were talking. So I remember when you went home on that pass. You know what I'm saying? And you came back.
Yep.
On a Monday.
Came back late.
Yep. Like a day late.
Yep.
I remember having a conversation with you because I could tell you was beating yourself up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember having a conversation with you, and like you have the ability to help somebody prevent them make what I'm saying, that mistake that you had made. And then 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks later, I'm pretty sure it was actually 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you
exactly
did.
2 weeks later, I left.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to accept the fact, and it really took me a minute to really accept that fact, that the only reason I left was to get high. Because if you remember, I had every excuse. I hadn't seen my mom in like 7 or 8 months. Yep. I was locked up. I did all this. I had all these different excuses to go back to my house, knowing that I had no business being at the house.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until later on, like you as well, had to make that say. I had to accept the fact that I just wanted to go get high. You know what I mean?
It took he's actually my sponsor now. It took he used to work at PHP. It took him telling me, because I was beating myself up over it too. And when I got back, when you get reset, you're not supposed to work desk. You're not supposed to work any job. You're supposed to be in detox and safe haven for until whatever. They put me right back on the desk, like I had never left.
Yeah.
So I'm in the damn scrub at the desk doing this, and I was beating myself up over making excuses for this, that, the other. And then I just got asked, why do men and women drink? essentially because they like the effect produced by alcohol. Yeah, bro, you just you just wanted to get high. Like,
Yeah.
and here's the thing: it really is that simple. At the end of the day, you just wanted to get high. You can put all of the this, that, yeah. Like when you called me when you were in drug court when you got high. I think you got high in jail, and your literal response was, "Well, fuck it, bing bing, I'm already in jail. Might as well."
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the logic of that statement makes no sense. When you're sober, the logic of that makes no sense.
Make no sense at
But
all.
when you're,
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
It's when you. I'm glad you said that because it brought me back when I was locked up. You know what I'm saying? Right before I really started this program and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with. He's really he's like a brother to me right now. You know what I mean? But I told him, I said, bro, I'm just gonna get out. I'm gonna get high. I'm coming back. Give me 30 days. I'll be back. It's exactly what I told him.
Yeah.
And like in the same breath, he literally looked at me and was like, bro, you know how stupid that sounds?
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I realized like that is. But that's the way my brain works, and that's the way that a lot of our brains work. That's the whole point of insanity. We just keep doing, and it's like that familiarity that we was talking about. Like I'm familiar with the chaos. Like there's a reason why I like working in restaurants.
Yeah, because
it's chaos.
Yeah.
Like, and I know how to function in that chaos.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And that can be a superpower when you really think about it, right? Like addicts that can hold on to the recovery, they can do. I don't want to say you can do like anything, but you can move mountains for a lot of people. Because the mental and spiritual and just internal work that it takes to just accept the fact that I have to daily commit to myself to not do this dumb shit, right? People that don't have an experience with that, they can't wrap their minds around that. That's why trying to explain what it's like to be an addict to a family member that has no whatever, the best that you can do is tell them to put their phone down for 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the closest they'll be able to get to like, oh shit, that would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
It is, right? But like having your phone the whole day isn't as debilitating, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about the things that you'll tell yourself just to go get, okay, I know that a 50 bag is going to turn into me spending $1,000, right? But there'll be moments where I'll do everything I can to just get that 50 bag because I just want that moment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you hear the train whistle the first time you do crack, right?
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't. No, you can. You absolutely can. You might steal that cake from somebody else, but it becomes yours, and I'll eat the shit out of it, right?
I just wanted to use the cake
I
reference.
know you did, but you're searching for like just this brief reprieve from whatever's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then what you're doing after that is you're just preventing coming back to reality, right? So when I lapsed, when I was at Guitar Center, right? I promise you, I didn't get high the entire time.
Yeah.
Like I was doing drugs, I was doing cocaine, could not get high the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's worse because then you're searching, you're trying to collect that buzz, you're trying to collect that dopamine release, and you're not getting it.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, like a gram didn't work. Well, let me get 2. Okay, well, let me get 3. And then next thing you know, you've gone through an ounce in like a week or a week and a half, and now you're out of money. So now I'm stealing from the till and doing all that, and then you're just miserable, and then you end up in jail or you end up in detox, sitting there like I didn't even get what I was coming for.
Yeah.
Now you're pissed at yourself. You got that guilt, shame, remorse that everybody talks about, and you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's a constant vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd be lying to you that like 5 months sober is still early in recovery, no matter how you take it. Doesn't matter. I learned this time around too that when you do lapse, all that shit that you did to your brain the first time, it just resets.
Yeah.
So there's no like, oh, I'll just do this once. No, you're going backward hard and quick, man.
Yeah.
Hard and quick. But again, on the same token, it is naive to think that you're not going to be surrounded by it all the time. I didn't know this clubhouse existed. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome that this place exists, right? And in the city, there's like 500 meetings that go on at any point in time in Louisville, right? So like if you are committed to it and you know what to do, it then just becomes a you problem, which is all addiction is anyway. It's a you problem. It's not society. It's not the job. It's not my mother has cancer. It's not my grandmother's dying. It's not none of that. It's a you problem. How are you dealing with it?
Yeah.
You know, like I was doing cocaine in the bathroom at my grandmother's funeral.
Yeah. And
I hate myself for that. I used to, whatever. But now I just accept the fact that that's what it was.
Right.
You know.
So I'm gonna ask you a question because we was talking about this. I think we've all been asked this question already. Sean asked it. I'm going to ask it because he's not in here. Since putting the work into recovery, to your recovery now, have you relapsed? And I mean like really like delving deep in yourself and like really taking a look, like have you relapsed since that point?
Since like the last 5 months.
Yeah.
Mentally, for sure. Mentally, for sure. Like, again, I'd be lying to you if I'm not sitting here when I have a stressful day, or getting my kid right. If I have my kid during the week to get him to school, right, I'm in the car 1 hour to take him, 1 hour back to my house, 1 hour to pick him up, 1 hour to come back. Right, so 4 hours a day I'm in the car. That's frustrating as all hell because I'm in the car during the peak traffic times, right?
Yeah.
And yes, the mental relapse is, well, I could pull off here and just, I'm tired. Let me just get a bag and then all that stuff. Mentally, yes.
Yeah.
Physically, no. Because again, that tape will play really, really quick, and it's the smell of BO, or it's the smell of dirty laundry, or sometimes when you drive downtown, there's a liquor depot that the fermentation of it, the yeast.
Yeah. Smell,
Yeah, the smell of Jim Beam or whatever. That'll set you off. I don't drink energy drinks anymore because the smell of them reminds me of drinking. Like I used to go, like when I'd be at work, I used to get a Mike's Hard Lemonade and a Monster. Pour out the Monster, put the Mike's Hard Lemonade in the Monster, and nobody knew the difference.
There's yeast in cake.
There is yeast in cake, and it
Sheesh.
and it rises. But I used to do that all the time, so I can't even do energy drinks anymore because of that. So now it's coffee.
Yeah.
Straight up coffee all the time.
Goes great with cake.
It does, with coffee cake or
Yeah.
crumb cake.
Cinnamon cake.
That's the German blood in me. Cake and coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's since I've been this go around 5 months. No, I haven't put anything in me, and that, like, and it's not that part doesn't matter. That is ultimately the goal. Is to not put anything in you for real. But you know, you meet plenty of people that do. One of my buddies that I was close to in THB, we found out that he's been drinking at the Brady Center.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. But here's the thing: does he need to go back to start? Like as far as a program, no, I don't think so. If he had a drink at the Brady Center because he had a bad day,
Yeah.
he knows how far that can get. And I think you and I talked about there's lapse, and then there's relapse.
Yeah.
A lapse would be like what my buddy went through. He had a drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you continue? Did you go on a bender? Did you go on a run? Are you in the vicious cycle? No. Okay. You messed up. Like, and whether or not you want to reset your sobriety date, that's up to you too.
Right.
You got to stay true to thine own self, be true. So maybe you should reset it. I don't know, but it doesn't make me not want to deal with him or not want to talk to him or not send him a commitment.
Yeah.
We all go through that, man.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? Like
Bless
relapse.
you, Willie.
Bless you, buddy.
Get some coffee.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
Hey, buddy.
So I'd like to ask you a question here. I must ask you a question.
You awake?
So I like to ask this question.
Watch it be the one you
And I
just
asked-
asked me.
I asked this question. Is it,
Maybe, I don't know.
What's the
It
That's
could be,
probably-
maybe not.
have you ever worked this program to the best of your
Yes,
ability
I just asked that question.
and
really?
relapsed?
And,
I mean,
and-
yeah.
We just talked about that.
Yeah, his was more. Have you, like, in the last 5 months? Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No. Have you worked this program to the best of your ability and then relapsed? That means
I mean,
the meetings, the sponsor, the fellowship, the prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything in the program, and then went and relapsed.
so I'll go. Well, in that context, like, have I done all of those things and
The
relapsed?
program to the best of your ability.
The answer is no. Then, like, you
Yeah.
you only lapse when you don't do it to the best of your ability,
Exactly.
right? Because what happens every time you say, "Oh man, what happened?" Man, I stopped going to meetings.
Boom.
Stop talking to my sponsor.
Boom.
Stop calling my fellowship.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff, right? Like when the 10 that you sent me the other night, or whatever, the 20 that you sent me the other night to get home.
Yeah.
I only texted people that were in my support group.
Yeah.
Because if I text anybody else, I'm going to get questions about what I'm doing with that, right?
Right.
Like I had to explain to a couple people, like my buddy Derek.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey man, like I didn't get at you last night for that because I was kind of concerned that
Yeah.
you were going to use that money for whatever." I'm like, then I have to explain how $20 does me no good if I wanted to go do anything anyway, right?
Yeah.
But you're correct. To the best of your ability is what you have to do it with.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis,
Yeah.
without fail. We
Yeah.
were talking about meetings outside, man. Like the meetings aren't you. You can tell yourself that, oh, if I just go to a meeting constantly, I'll have that. No, you got a fellowship outside. If you haven't gone through the program, you have to have somebody take you through it. This time around at THP, when people going through OP, they weren't mandated. You weren't mandated to get a sponsor.
Yeah.
At all.
Really?
At all, you weren't mandated. Because, I mean, OP is only like 3 months,
Yeah.
right? So you weren't mandated to get a sponsor. So people that were in those classes with me, when they would bullshit, be like, yeah, I got a sponsor by the name of whatever, and I'm on step 4. You didn't have a sponsor yesterday.
Yeah.
How are you on step 4? Not that means that, like, you can go through the steps as quickly or as slowly as they come. I think Bill went through them inside of a week, maybe something like
Yeah.
that, technically. Doesn't really matter, but you have to have a sponsor to take you through these things, man.
Yeah.
You have to, because, like, if you go through the book, and not that I'm, I don't mean any ill will with the book, but the 12 and 12 I found way more valuable than the book itself. Breathing Underwater, if I'm just channeling books, Breathing Underwater, Russell Brand's recovery book helps a lot.
Have you experienced the Fat Book?
What's the Fat Book?
Ooh. Get with me after the podcast.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Fat
Yeah,
Book.
that is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only seen and known from what he's shown me. I actually still have not actually received one.
Fat
or,
Book?
Yes, or actually gone through the Fat Book, really.
Are we just talking about the book with all the stories in the back?
No.
Okay. Well, now I'm curious for what
Yeah,
that is.
Just, yeah.
What that is.
You'll have to give it to him. He's better.
Drop the Rock, too, is another one that I'll recommend.
Look, 9 months ago, I hit this plateau, and I was looking for something else. I didn't know what it was, and this gentleman walked in the front door of the club and asked me that very question. Have you heard of the Fat Book? And I was like, is it a big
Yeah,
book?
yeah.
You know,
I
and
thought.
he's like, I'll be right back.
Okay.
And he brought it in, and I get going through it, and I even started a whole Fat Book study with it.
No shit.
Yes, sir.
Well, now I'm
It-
super
it
curious.
is quite. Look, I'm a little special, okay, and
We all are.
The man when I was trying to read the big book, I really wasn't even aware. I mean, I was aware of when it was wrote.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. You think the 30s, the
Yeah.
40s. Okay, you watch some old movies.
Yeah. Way different era.
The accent like they had.
Oh, the transatlantic accent?
Right.
No.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, and just that old timey setting. Okay, is what I kind of envisioned. All right. On top of it, dude's a doctor.
Yeah.
So this book is wrote in prescription form.
Yeah.
In the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding what I'm reading.
Anything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when you read it to me, I'm like,
Slow
I'm
down.
still not understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had to read the first 164
Right.
more than once to understand a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
And this Fat Book, it breaks every single page down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It actually highlights words per page and gives a definition for how that word was used in that paragraph,
Oh, so
that context.
It's annotated. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
it's,
I mean, the interesting part is like you're reading the page,
and then right next to it.
right there,
You get
this page-
interpretations,
That's pretty cool.
insights,
Yeah.
and
See, yeah.
in the back of the book it's not a Bible.
So
Okay.
that, yeah.
The back of the book only holds the scriptures that they
reference.
pulled
Yep.
the big book from.
Yep.
So to sum it up, it is what Bill and Bob and the founders of the
collective,
big
yeah.
book, it's what they read and
Mhm.
what they said,
Yeah.
the discussions they had while they were writing the book.
So that's fantastic. That's awesome. I mean, there's a big book dictionary, or a dictionary that you can use, and we would use them during big book studies as well. To be perfectly honest, I prefer big book studies or any kind of book studies more than I do actual meetings, or at least half and half. That's fantastic, because I can tell you, a lot of people that I don't really know how to say that without sounding like offensive. I didn't have any issue really going through the big book, but my favorite book of all time is Paradise Lost from 600 years ago, right? Like, I have a book collection of Shakespeare's first folio printed in 1700, all that stuff. So it's like, I love that stuff. And the verbiage that's in the big book and the way it's written I promise you, it's deliberate. There's zero fat on that book. You know what I mean? That book could be volumes long if they really wanted it to, but there's zero fat on that book. But the way I went about reading the big book, of course, you read it cover to cover the first time, but then it would be like almost like a textbook, like how you go back and reference stuff, especially when you're cross-referencing it with the 12 and 12, which, man, and now going back to Dropping the Rock. In the big book, steps 6 and 7, I think there's a single paragraph about it, step 6 and 7, because they can't tell you how to do 6 and 7. Drop the Rock tells you how to do 6 and 7. and that helped me immensely. Still helps me to this day as far as character defects, character flaws, however you want to call it. But no, I've not seen the Fat Book. I'm actually kind of
Fat Book actually tells you how to do every step.
does it fantastic,
Every step.
fantastic,
Yeah.
In detail.
good,
Yeah.
good. That means that means that there's more information out there than before. When I think it was last week, I went to go do morning meditation at THP downtown, and there was about 50 people in that room in OP, which I was really happy to see, right? But at the same time, there's people that were there that were in detox when I was there that are back.
Yeah.
And when I went to go do class, 3 p.m. class, THP, when I took you down there, right?
Yeah.
Didn't know what I was going to do class on. But one of the peer mentors there, who was there when we were there, had just started peer mentoring.
Yeah.
Right? So the class that I did, I asked everybody, I was like, how many times have people been through rehab? And not a single hand had only been once. It was like 2-3 times. And the average time that they had spent outside of rehab or jail was like 3 months before they flipped back around, right? That was eye-opening to me too. But that's how, like, I even knew then that I was white-knuckling, because hearing that, I was like, you want to think that you're the exception to the rule. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, I have more peace with the fact that I went back out and did it again, because I know now, like, to what extent that I, again, to the best of your ability, right? Stop going to meetings, stop caring, stop asking anybody, started doing, like, secretive shit. And again, you're only as sick as the secrets that you keep, right? Which, love Marilyn Manson. He's one of my favorite all-time artists. His most recent single is "As Sick as the Secrets Within." This motherfucker got sober.
Bing.
I'll take that one. He got sober, and I saw him at Louder Than Life, and he sounds like he did in '99. That was another, like, inspiration for me being better at music, in that context. But
So, if I may, you mentioned earlier about Satan worshiper or whatever.
oh yeah,
Okay, and I won't say that I was to that extent, but I was a big Marilyn Manson fan.
I
Okay,
still love him.
in my mind, I was the Antichrist
Christ
superstar.
superstar, yeah,
Okay, one of my first jobs of age,
Yeah.
was with tax ID and such.
Yeah.
Was at McDonald's, and I had this Marilyn Manson shirt, and that's what it said on the back was Antichrist superstar. So I walk in. I walk in with this
I know.
T-shirt on and walk past the counter, walk to the back to put my McDonald's shirt on, and when I come back out to the counter, they give me this pamphlet.
Oh yeah,
Talking
yeah.
about you need
Yeah, you need to go
Jesus,
see
you know
Jesus.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Man, talk about level of offended.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
oh, you're real holy. You're judging me for wearing a
Shirt.
Marilyn Manson shirt. You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But so for like was said earlier, it's a miracle today that I find myself with a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And rely on
nothing short
Him.
of it.
And I'm also very aware of when I don't rely on Him, and I think, I'm trying to fix this problem, trying to find out what is wrong with me, what is going on with me, why am I such in a funk? And when I let go of that, and turn right back to Him, like, can you help me? You know what I'm saying? How much better it gets.
That's the first thing I ever underlined in the book. It's in the very beginning of it. If there was a devil, he was the boss universal, and he certainly had me. That was the first thing I ever underlined in the book. And just for reference, and Woody can attest to this, when I started facilitating classes as a peer mentor in THP, all anybody wanted to know about was what it was like to be a devil worshiper in the Temple of Satan. And so, like, there are, the Temple of Satan has a 12-step process in the same way that we do, right? But what we did in the temple, it was philosophical Satanism. It wasn't sitting there at an altar and doing whatever. It was, our whole mission was to just get you to question whether or not God existed, right? That was it. And then we had authority over you. And it's just the whole thing. I don't need to get into it. But
So, one set of steps goes down.
what's the steps? That's basically what it is. But the revelatory thing for me was, even doing that through the Temple of Satan, I realized on the back end of it, I was just doing God's work anyway. Because, like, and depending on what your religious context is or your belief is, like, God, or like, the devil does nothing without God's approval. He can't. The devil isn't more powerful than God, which is what we wanted people to think and feel. It is to just draw you away from something higher than yourself, so you had an allegiance to us. And it was all secretive and really cool and whatever. But with Manson, right? Like, I don't know if you know, the triptych: Superstar, Mechanical Animals, and Hollywood, right? That whole thing is a 3-album story arc that's written backwards. He got the idea from Bowie and Ziggy Stardust from Mars. Antichrist Superstar is the end of the story. Mechanicals is middle, and Hollywood is first. It's about an angel that falls from heaven, becomes a rock star, and then becomes the devil, right? Very influential, right? But Manson himself was not a devil worshiper. He just understood that was just good business sense in that respect. But I've been offended, like, and it's funny to think about you being offended by someone that has good intentions, right? Trying to help you. You're offended by it. I mean, I got that all the time. When I was up in my attic, screaming my voice out, trying to be a superstar, and my mother would scream from downstairs, "Are you done worshiping the devil yet?" No, no, I still have a long ways to go. But yeah, like that, I was very. You can be anybody you want to be in rehab, so I don't understand why people just don't. Why you're just not going to be you? We had people down there, man, that were full frontal faking all day long.
Well, see, I think that's the thing, though, and Woody's even touched on that authenticity. Okay,
100%,
there is no authenticity.
No.
We don't know who we are.
No.
We have been that for so long.
Yep.
And that's the other thing I feel like drives us back out there.
Yeah.
Is, we know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
When I start to develop this whole other person and feelings and emotions or whatnot, aspirations, and I don't know if I want all that. You know
right?
what I mean?
It's scary.
And to turn my will over to God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is scary. I don't know what He's going to do with my will.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to give Him that. Well, what's He going to have me do?
But
the unknowing.
But you know that if you give that over, you know it's going to result in something positive. Like that's it. Like it
may be positive, but it might not be what I want to do.
It's never going to be what you want to do. That's the point. It's never going to be what you want to do. Like, and I've explained it a couple times. When you turn your will over to the care of God, right? God has a path for you, right? But God is infinite in that respect. So no matter what, you just take the scenic route, you can take the circular route, you can do whatever. You're going to end up where He wants you to be no matter what you do. So the peacemaking thing for me is I know that no matter what I'm doing through the day, even if it is messed up, I'm still on God's path, right? Turning my will over to the care of God is going the path that He has laid out for me, which 9 times out of 10 is pretty straightforward.
That's interesting because I have this saying that I used to use all the time, as far as God's path. Like, I'm off in the woods a little bit. I'm not on that path. I'm off in the woods, but I'm going the right direction.
Yeah, you're going north. You might be going northwest for a minute, but you're going north.
But I'm going to end up where I'm supposed to be.
Where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Every day, at every point in time, you are where you're supposed to be, right? Yeah. Now, whether or not you like where you're going, where you're at, is totally reflective of what your decisions you have made. If you want to go somewhere different, ask that. I do it all the time. Ask that more be revealed, right? You can't do. I mean, I guess you can, but you're never supposed
to. Like,
start
kind of asking for directions.
Directions, not like, okay. So if I plug into Google Maps how to get here, right? It'll give me like 4 or 5 different options on how to get here.
Yep.
Right? They all may be the same relative distance. They all may take the same amount of gas, right? But I get to decide on which particular route that I take, right? GPS, it'll take me hopefully on the most straight and narrow route, right? Which it did here today. It's a straight shot down Dixie, right? There's no way to mess it up, right? But let's say I took the one that took me on the highway and then circled back around and all that stuff. Still got to the same place. May have gotten here late, which he did. May have gotten here late. May have not. It may have not been a straight shot.
Nothing new.
But the thing is,
people who watch podcasts are not. It's just not news to them.
It's but
we're well aware of that.
Even using
that
as
an
example.
Bring cake.
I didn't bring cake. It was a straight shot here. Well, no, you didn't bring cake.
No, if you're going to be late, you could have at least bought cake.
Or my $50. But it being a straight shot down this way, it allowed me to actually think about, and be grateful for the fact that I'm coming here to do this, right? I've told a couple people that are in my support groups that I was doing this today, and they want to see the link. My kid's mother wants to see what I had to say here. Like, I'm excited to do stuff like this. This isn't the first podcast I've been on. Normally, I'm on music podcasts. And so this is a very good opportunity for me.
This is music to someone's ears.
Amen. Yeah, amen. It is. Absolutely.
If they can hear it.
If they can hear it.
Yeah, thanks. So we was talking about the authenticity. My bad, Martin. I didn't mean to cut you
He was
off
just
right
going to say
there,
something about cake anyway.
No, actually, no.
Oh, the one time this whole podcast you were going to say some shit about cake.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to hear it.
I done forgot it now.
Oh,
yeah,
so we was talking about authenticity. That's why I brought it up. And when I did, I'm on a journey to authenticity because Sean said, we talked about earlier. I'm starting to figure a little bit more out about myself to really figure out who I am. But that authenticity is where I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Because that mask, that you know what I'm saying, that with the
front.
facade that we be putting on, a lot of us do, especially in like whether it be a rehab or any type of facility, or just sometimes really just in recovery in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that have that facade. Like I'm trying to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah.
And not just that, but honest with myself. And I think that's where I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay with that. I love myself today. And I think that right there is one of the biggest parts of becoming that authentic self. You know
I
what
agree.
mean? And I'm pretty sure it was you that was we was talking one day, and we was talking about how'd the conversation go? You said you are becoming exactly the person that you are meant to be always.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like that really stuck with me too, because it's like all this time, like I was trying to like hide who I was, or like hide my emotions, and like try and like hide the fact that I was an addict or an alcoholic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And like in reality, like that's the greatest thing that I've ever realized about myself is that I am an addict. I am an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I am all of these things, but I don't have to let that really define me. Like
No.
the perseverance that I have now is remarkable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, real quick, we're gonna need to wrap this up here
Yeah, that's
shortly.
fine.
But I like to leave y'all with this. I was told once before that there are two roads. One is the one less traveled.
Yeah.
Okay, it's some rough terrain.
Yeah.
Or you got Hypocrite Highway.
That's a good one.
Which one you gonna go down?
That's a good one.
Right.
They're both going to lead you to the same place, one way or the other.
So on a grateful, I'm grateful for our guest today.
Thank you.
I thought it was, it's a pretty good podcast here.
I hope so.
And Martini.
I have a specific grateful today. I am grateful for meeting and getting to know Scott Day. So shout out to Scott Day. I'm grateful for the things he's done for me and taught me.
Amen.
Love you. Anthony?
First of all, I want to go ahead and say.
Oh, and also our guest, Matt. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming
Martin.
today, man.
Thank
It
you,
was very
Martin.
interesting.
I want to go ahead and say, yes, Scott Day. He's done a whole lot for me as well, and I do love you and what you did for me, what you taught me, the path that you laid out for me. I'm very, very grateful for that. My grateful today, also for Matt. You know what I'm saying? Being my sponsor, I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even more so, like I'm grateful for the spiritual warfare that we go through.
Yeah.
You know what
I'll
I'm saying?
get you.
Because like I wouldn't have that ability to choose if I didn't have that. You know what I mean? And
100%.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for where I am today.
Amen.
I'm sure I speak for all of us when we say we're grateful for you, the listener, the watcher. And by the way,
Watchers.
guys, I don't know if y'all noticed, but more people are starting to leave gratefuls on the comments.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's what we ask. We
That's
ask
really
you
awesome.
to like, share, subscribe, comment. And on your comment, if you would leave just one grateful, it'd be great.
How about Matt's grateful?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm grateful for the opportunity to even be here. I'm glad we got to get it together. I'm grateful that I woke up sober today with another shot to stay sober today. And then again, I'll do my commitment. I commit today to make a deep and personal commitment to myself and to my higher power to remember that the way I do anything is the way I do everything, to focus on my efforts, not my results, and to stay out of my way.
I'm grateful for cake.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I wondered where it
All
was.
right. Well, I got a request here. Can this dude get some pages on punctuality?
You don't want-
Oh, yeah, take a look at that.
Do you want to go to the board? I'll
It's
go to the board.
beca- It's
Oh my
becoming
God,
to be
please not the
habitual.
board,
Okay.
buddy. But listen, before
yeah.
you go into this, the smallest contract.
Let's
that
hear
I've
the
seen
story.
Yes, so the smallest contract that I witnessed this man give was 80,000 words.
Yeah.
That was the smallest.
That don't sound like that many pages.
80,000.
80,000 words.
That don't sound like that many pages.
It depends on how you want to do it. So there's
Big
words
letters
and
or
no,
Absolutely not.
no. Yeah, 80,000 was the smallest. The biggest I ever gave was
What if I
250.
stutter?
No, that's not getting scrapped through at all.
Yeah.
No, you can do all words 500 on punctuality. I'll give you one. All words 500 on punctuality. All words 500 on punctuality.
Let's do next podcast.
There you go.
if we may close in the Lord's Prayer.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Who got Anthony here even though he was late? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy
kingdom
Come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Keep coming back.
Keep watching.
Keep coming back.